Have you ever wondered how a 3D printer moves so precisely, or how your power tools are so powerful? Well, if that's the case, welcome back to this week's episode. And today we're talking about electric motors. To be more specific, we're going to be talking about the differences between these two types of motors. On this side, we have brushed DC motors, and on this side, we have stepper motors. So let's get started. First, let's talk about operation and control of the motors. With stepper motors, the motor moves in precise increments, and each electronic pulse moves the motor a set amount. So if you need something to be super precise, stepper motors are the way to go. On the other hand, with brushed DC motors, the motors move in a smooth, continuous rotation, unlike the stepper motors. It uses the brushes and a commutator to control the current direction, which ultimately controls the direction of the motor. Now, as for the structure of the motor, stepper motors don't have brushes or commutator like the brushed DC motors do. Instead, they use multiple coils in the stator and rotor. That's often made of permanent magnets. Each step is controlled by engineering these coils in a sequence. And like we already said, DC motors have brushes. They use those brushes and the commutator to help switch the current in the rotor windings. This gives you a continuous rotation. Now, when it comes to precision and torque, stepper motors are superior, but only at low speeds. They move in small increments, which is perfect for positioning and control, but there's a trade-off. At higher speeds, the motors tend to lose their torque and their precision, while the brushed DC motors, on the other hand, offer more torque at higher speeds, but they don't have the same level of precision. You'll need external feedback, like an encoder or something of that nature, to control their position accurately. And of course, when it comes to speed, brushed DC motors are obviously way faster, and they could also be adjusted a lot more easily just using an increased voltage, while the stepper motors are slower due to their stepping mechanism at higher speeds. And as far as maintenance goes, the brushed DC motors do have brushes within the motor that contact other points, and those will eventually wear out, whereas the stepper motors don't have those brushes and generally will require less maintenance. So which one do you choose? Well, of course, that comes down to what you're using them for. If you're going to be building a 3D printer or a CNC machine, something that requires high accuracy and precision, you're going to be going with a stepper motor. Where in the case of creating something that just requires continuous rotation with little effort, you're going to be looking for the DC motors. And last, we're going to talk about the cost. And it's not hard to tell that the stepper motors do cost more, but they are more precise. They last longer with less maintenance. But of course, that depends on the application. Additionally, stepper motors require stepper motor drivers at least in order to operate them in a controlled manner. While the brushed DC motors simply require a voltage that is appropriate for the motor, and they will spin in that given direction. Well, that's going to do it for this video. And if you enjoyed what you saw, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you for watching.